Hey everybody, it's Faheem, pharmacist, prescriber, contractor, founder of Medlearn. We have an absolute amazing video today, and we're going to be talking about the infamous personal statement. It's a question that I get asked all the time. How do I write my personal statement? What is important in a personal statement? How do I improve on my personal statement? How do I make sure that I can get my personal statement to a level where you can get your entry into your prescribing course? We are going to talk about that today. But as always, I want you folks to like, subscribe, and share this YouTube channel so we can make a difference in this world and together grow, and let's make an absolute wonderful day today. So guys, you know what to do. Switch your phones off, relax yourself, follow me, and let's start to have a look at how to write up your personal statement. As I've explained to you in this video, we're going to be talking about the personal statement. I've got my friend Matt, and I hope there's nobody Matt here who's listening. It's not supposed to mention your name, but it's Matt itself. Actually, we'll use the red pen. And what we're going to do, with the help of Matt, is we're going to start to have a look at how do we write this personal statement up. First of all, if you're looking to become a pharmacist or a nurse prescriber, what you need to have a couple of things in place. Number one, and this pen, actually Matt's let us down. Let's use a different name. We could use Julie. Julie sounds good. So Julie, let's have a look. So the first thing you have to have is you need to be a qualified healthcare professional that can do or undertake the course itself. So let's say you're a pharmacist and you're a nurse. First steps. Then what you need to have in place is access to a DPP, a designated prescribing practitioner. And if you're a nurse, you would also need a DPS, and that's a prescribing supervisor. Now, if any of you are struggling to find a DPP or find a DPS, get in touch with us at Medlearn. My contact number is there. Get in touch with my colleague, and we can absolutely help you and organize this for you. Because it's not just about finding a DPP or a DPS. It's making sure they have the right skills, they're trained, they're experienced, and they want to make sure that you can safely prescribe and make a difference in your profession. So let's say you're one of these. Let's say you're in touch with Medlearn, you've got that sorted as well. Now we're talking about the application process. The application process involves making sure that you have a personal statement. Remember when you applied to university for the first time, whether you studied medicine, whether you studied pharmacy or nursing, you would have written something along the lines of 300 to 400 words, basically selling yourself. Selling yourself, demonstrating that you're ready to undertake the course. So one thing you have to do is you have to write a personal statement that is at least this many words. Anywhere between 300 to 500, that seems to be the general trend. You also need to include your scope of practice. And we've discussed this in depth, a video about what is a scope of practice, how to find a scope of practice. Have a look at that video. But you need to think about your scope of practice, which needs to be linked within this personal statement. And when you're writing the personal statement, think about policy, folks, because universities have plenty of applications from 1 to 10 to more than this 1 to 10. And many people are fighting for HEE funding as well. Health Education England funding. So if you're unsure about HE funding, get in touch with us at Medlearn. We can help you. It's really, really important that you link policy within your personal statement. And when I mean policy, I'm saying talk about the NHS long-term plan. Talk about the NHS workforce strategy. Talk about what the GPHC want. Talk about what the Nurse and Midwifery Council want, or whatever profession you follow. You need to link policy. Talk about what the NHS wants. The NHS is struggling with meeting demands for patients and GPs. Talk about how becoming a prescriber can reduce the workload on GPs, can improve access to healthcare, can also give a better experience to those individuals who are looking for healthcare. So you can link policy in there. Talk about the benefits of prescribing. Talk about the benefits of prescribing to you as a professional. All of this has to be within your scope. So within 300 to 500 words, I would like you to talk about, first of all, start off by talking about the shortage of GPs. So there's a shortage of GPs. And the fact that there's a shortage of GPs, pharmacists or nurses or whichever healthcare professional are now primed in a position to help cope with the NHS crisis. So something as a sentence. Talk about why you want to undertake your prescribing. So in the first sentence, I would recommend just talk about shortage of GPs. Talk about this in the first paragraph. There's a shortage of GPs, there's crisis, NHS waiting times have not been met, and pharmacists or nurse prescribers or pharmacists are in a prime position to assist with the shortage of GPs and so on. Your first sentence. The second sentence, talk about why. Why do you want to undertake the prescribing course? Write it in your second sentence or second paragraph. So paragraph 1, paragraph 2. Talk about the fact that you want to uplift your profession. Talk about the fact that job satisfaction. Talk about the fact that you want to help patients. Talk about being in sync with the NHS vision. Okay? In your third paragraph, once you've mentioned a bit of introduction, you've spoken about why you want to do the course, talk about your experience. So you, what do you do? What do you do? Talk about the fact that you worked in various different pharmacies. You worked as a nurse in very different GP practices. Talk about your experience. Talk about how that's helped your communication skills, how that's helped your examination skills, customer care skills, or being able to communicate with patients. Talk about how that's helped with your diagnosis skills. So have that in your third paragraph. And then talk about what is it you do. Talk about then, or what is it you'd like to do, your scope of practice. And we've discussed this in depth in other videos. Introduce your scope of practice. So I would like to develop my scope of practice in ENT. And I see plenty of patients who have ENT related conditions within a pharmacy. And currently what I do is I take a history, I examine the patient, I then differentiate between the various different causes, I refer patients that have to be referred, those patients that can be treated, I treat. So you've got these 4 paragraphs. In the 5th paragraph, once you've done this, and here, this is going to be the meat. Make sure you talk about exactly what you do, how you undertake a history, how you examine. And pharmacists, folks, you do take a history. When you've got a patient that presents over the counter, you're taking their information, you take a history. So talk about this. So this is important. So in this, I want you to talk about your scope of practice, why you chose that scope of practice. So maybe you'll say that there's 2.8 people to every 100 that see this condition. Talk about why you chose your scope of practice. Talk about what you currently do within that scope of practice. How do you already diagnose, manage, and treat within that scope of practice, and how you differentiate between the other courses. That's what I need you to do here. Or the other, not courses, the other diseases. That's what I need you to mention here. Once you've done this, then at the end, talk about the university. Mention why you want to join that university. Actually, scrap that. Before you do that, what I'd like you to do is I want you to talk about here is prescribers. I want you to mention in the 5th paragraph what are key skills that prescribers should have. So they should be able to communicate. They should be able to reflect. They should be able to critically analyze, and we've discussed this in depth. So they should be able to distinguish between two, which is right or wrong in the evidence. They should be in line with the GPHC and the RPS framework for prescribers. Talk about this in the 5th. And in the 6th, wrap it up by talking about the university. I would like to join your university because of its esteemed presence, blah, 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 whatever you want to write. And I believe I have the skill set to undertake this course. So that's my 6 steps in writing your personal statement. Start off by introduction. Talk about the shortage of GPs. NHS waiting times have not been met. NHS policy now requires pharmacists to become prescribers, and here I am. Then talk about why you want to become a prescriber. I want to uplift the profession, job satisfaction, help patients, inline myself with the NHS, and also benefit financially, whatever it might be. Maybe leave the financial part out. Number 3, talk about you. What do you do? I've worked as a GP pharmacist or a nurse. I regularly see patients. I do take a history. I do MURs, whatever you might do. Then talk about your scope of practice. I would like to develop my prescribing area within respiratory. Currently, I see many patients presenting with respiratory conditions. I take a history, I examine, I differentiate between the diseases. For example, a patient with a cough could have pneumonia, could have pulmonary embolism, could have bronchitis. The differences between these are X, Y, Z. I refer these patients, I treat these patients. After that, then talk about your key things for a prescriber. I feel as a pharmacist, as a professional, that pharmacists or prescribers should be able to communicate effectively, share decision making, critically analyze, appraise, decision making, and so on, skills. Then move on to the university. I'd like to join university because of its stature, XYZ, and I look forward to your response. That is it. And that's how you write your personal statement, 300 to 500 words. Any of you are struggling, get in touch with us at Medlearn. As I've always mentioned, together let's build a better world. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and subscribe, like, and share. Thank you for watching. Hey everybody, it's Faheem, farmstead prescriber, contractor, founder of Medlearn. We have an absolute amazing video today, and we're going to be talking about the infamous personal statement. It's a question that I get asked all the time. How do I write my personal statement? What is important in a personal statement? How do I improve on my personal statement? How do I make sure that I can get my personal statement to a level where you can get your entry into your prescribing course? We are going to talk about that today. But as always, I want you folks to like, subscribe, and share this YouTube channel so we can make a difference in this world and together grow, and let's make an absolute wonderful day today. So guys, you know what to do. Switch your phones off, relax yourself, follow me, and let's start to have a look at how to write up your personal statement.